Hey guys, welcome back to the Average Joe Rating Climb. We're 2133 and we'll go to 2200. We're getting close. And I'll play the Dutch here. Been playing this recently. I'm gonna get the knight out. Okay, he immediately pins. So we have kind of two ways, actually three ways we could force the trade right away if they want to. We could just put our bishop here, or we could counter pin the white knight. Or I guess you could play with something like b6, actually, too. I think I'll counterpin. A lot of times I like to trade off this bishop for this knight to help with the control of these squares. Kind of cancels out if, white trades here and I trade here, but that's what we're going to go with this time. Let me play b6 now. Actually, b6, or do I want to make me force a trade? Actually, let's go ahead and force the trade. I think we don't have to worry about any shenanigans here anymore because the queen is moved. So I think we're okay to go ahead and make this trade. And then we'll probably go b6 next. Okay, he goes e3, just keeping it real solid. Let's go ahead and put the bishop on this really nice looking diagonal. We are threatening this with the defend. Always want to check for what happens here, but there's g3. We don't have anything to take, so no reason to go there. I'm thinking about castling. I'm also thinking about doing this and just keeping my king in the center for now. Sometimes you can play c5 to try to put pressure here. Actually, c5 doesn't look so bad. Knight e2, knight c6 is what I would expect to happen. If you push, maybe we can take that. Gets a little bit tricky. Yeah, c5 is definitely interesting. Also, just castling looks pretty okay, or d6. So there are a lot of ways we could do this. I'm going to go ahead and castle first before I start, initiating exchanges and whatnot. And then maybe now we got the king out of there. I think maybe it's a safer time. And we'll play c5. We'll try to put some pressure here on d4. Of course, I'm not worried about my bishop ever getting trapped because I can always just trade it for the knight, which is what I'm going to do. Now, there's no more pin, so the knight could move. And then you do have to think about the bishop. So I think I will go ahead and take. They can't take bit the knight because then we have this pawn here, right? So yeah, they take back this way, but now they've got doubled pawns. And I don't want to take and let them undouble it. I think I'm just going to leave this guy sit here. If they want to take me, they have to be okay with doubled pawns. So I'll probably just bring out my knight to a nice aggressive square. And sometimes you can actually target this c4 pawn. Yeah, they push, which is fine. Again, I'm probably just going to let them take me. I'm not going to fix their pawns for them, right? What I was going to say is you can probably target this c4 pawn. So I'm thinking of going knight a5 and bishop a6. Actually, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. And the reason this is such a weak pawn is because there's this other pawn blocking the pieces from defending, right? So it's very difficult for white to defend that pawn, and I can attack it. There's no other pawns that can defend it, and so it's just a good target. I do have to watch out for what's happening here, but right now I'm okay. I've got it defended enough. I could try to push by and keep things closed off, but I mean, I think this trade doesn't hurt me too much. In fact, maybe I'll even use that e-file. So it looks like bishop a6 is a good move. Of course, there is queen a4. They can try to defend for a little while. And we'll have to figure out how we're going to deal with that. Maybe we go back. But I think I like just the pressure on the pawn. So let's go there. I'm expecting queen a4. Yeah, and let me think through this a little bit. So queen a4, we could actually take now. And the reason is there's a pin here that we didn't have before. So they can't undouble the pawns. They could take back this way, or they could take back this way. If they take back this way, then I can grab the pawn. It's kind of an interesting position. I don't know if that's good for me or not. The bishop would have to move. Probably just c2, because if you go here, no, I don't have d5. The other thing I could do is I could take this way or this way. No, not with the knight. Okay, we could take with the bishop, though. And then take with the knight. Actually, yeah, because if we get rid of the bishop, then this is weakness. Okay, I like that. I like that. There's also one more thing we should think about. What happens on this? So let's just say takes. That's interesting. I don't exactly know what's going on. I guess we could take. They go back. Maybe we bring a rook and try to invade. It looks decent. It looks decent for me. So let's go ahead and make the trade. A lot of moves to calculate here, though. So a little bit tricky of a position. Sometimes, you know, you can miss things here. Hopefully we didn't. But yeah, I mean, white has some targets. We've got a pretty nice position, I think. So I think it makes sense. What are they going to do? Take this way, or queen? Those are basically the options that I'm seeing. I wouldn't be surprised if they play queen. Just feels like a nice aggressive move. And then I think I will be taking this way. Oh, they do take that way. Interesting. Okay, so they take that way. All right. And I think I decided that I was going to try to go here and trade these bishops, because once these bishops are traded, this pawn is then very weak. Yep, so let's go ahead. I will have a decision to make. Which way am I going to recapture? And they go for it. So taking with the knight, if we lose this pawn, everything is nice and pretty. Then if we take here, still up a clean pawn. If I take this way, my knight seems very misplaced, actually. Yeah, so I think we have to take this way. Got to get that knight into the action. Now we have some nice options for it. They do take here, and I think we just take this. I guess the other option is we jump in. The rook moves. No, you can't go there because you get forked. You have to watch out for the shenanigans here. I think we need to take this pawn. We'll save this move for later, maybe. So, like I said, I'm up a pawn. There's 3 against 2 here. But on the queen side, I have 4 against 2. So in an endgame, if everything gets traded, we should have a pretty nice advantage. Can very easily make a pass pawn right here. And then if we need to later, we can push these and make another pass pawn over here. Okay, so that's kind of the long-term plan. Of course, we want to make sure we get our rooks activated nicely, make sure we don't give too much counterplay to white along the open files. But obviously right now they have to make a decision on the queen trade. If they don't trade, I don't know what they're doing going back here. I mean, if you stay here, you might get harassed by the rooks, so they do decide to trade. Okay. All right, so we could jump in, but does that help me? They're going to attack me, and I don't really see what my knight is doing. This is defended for now, but if my rook gets chased away, it might not be. G4, I would be able to capture, though. Knight G3, I move F4. Could cause some problems, I'm noticing. So if I go, like, for example, here, knight G3, I move F4. I think I'm losing my pawn. So I'm kind of tempted to play rook D8 to defend it. Yeah, I think I should. And it's not a, you know, just a defensive move. I'm also thinking ahead for whenever in the future I want to push this and get a pass pawn here. I think that might be a good square for my rook. But primarily right now, I just don't want to lose my pawn, right, to some knight F4, knight G3, F4 stuff. Okay, so they bring the king over. Seems like a good move. And I'm thinking of moving my rook here just to get control over the E file. It seems like a better square for my rook. Let's go ahead and do that. Also supports if I want to jump in with my knight, or maybe go here with my rook. Okay. I could bring my king. I could maybe start pushing these guys. I can attack the knight, but it's pretty easy. It just moves. Don't really see what my follow-up is. Yeah, maybe for now I'm just going to get my king a little bit closer. I'm not sure how to break through. Could maybe run with my king over this way to support better. That might make sense. Always have to watch out for the forks, of course. Okay, so they push A4. If they go there, I'm not worried at all, so I don't think we have to be concerned. G5 is nice because we get control over this square. The only thing is that we do open up this, which is one more thing we have to worry about. I don't know if I want to do that right now, so I'm thinking of just going this way. Maybe I want to avoid the knight check, so I go this way. Yeah, let's avoid the check. They can still go there threatening a fork, but I'm going to just immediately, run away. And head over here, like I said. This is defended, so we're okay there. So I'm going to get the king on c6 and then probably push these guys. I don't 100%. Whoa. Did I fall for a tactic? Oh no. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. That's a good one. Wow, I didn't see that. Now I have a tough decision to make. Do I go with the trade and then try to capture this pawn and push my pawns quickly? Or do I just accept the fact that I lost a pawn and... Actually, wait. Can I go knight b2? Wait a second. Wait a second. Well, maybe I have knight b2, guys. If the knight moves, I have king c7 to defend. Actually, no, I take first. Then, yeah, I think knight b2. Because the idea is after the rook moves up, then we can take. Oh, but they still want a pawn. Still want a pawn, didn't they? Yes, they did. That's unfortunate. Still lost a pawn. We saved the tactic, but we still lost the d pawn. That's too bad. Okay. Well, the only good news is these pawns still look pretty weak, and my king is in a pretty nice position. So I don't think we can quit and just get a draw just yet. Are they giving me this pawn? Oh, they want to go check and then get the rook. That's actually a strong move. Yeah, that's actually a strong move. Let me not allow that. We don't want the rook to get there. Okay. Let me slide over. This person's playing super fast, so I think there's a good chance they might make a mistake if I'm paying attention here. Okay, I think it's time to get some pawns pushing here. I'll play c4 right away, actually threatening this one. Okay, they stop that. Okay. And what if I just go with the trade and then try to get this a pawn? What happens? They're going to get the g pawn, though. Might have some kind of a race. They don't want to go for that. I'm going to try to sneak over here if I can. Okay, I don't want to let the rook in, though. I do not want to let the rook invade and take all my pawns, so I'm going to stop that. I'm still threatening to go there. Ah, they want to just go back and forth. Interesting. They're not going to take a draw, though, because they have such a time advantage, so they're going to have to choose a different plan. I'm fairly certain they won't take a draw. So, yeah, I'm going to go here and try to take these. Yep. Let's go ahead and see if I can take... let's take this one first. It might end up getting both pawns. Now I'll go for this one. And it's time to push. We got to be fast. It's going to be a race here, I think, from what I can tell. So we're just gonna try to go with the B pawn as quickly as we can. They're gonna take these and try to push theirs. Yep, we get a little race here. Let's see what happens. I think they. Oh, okay. Do I have time for this? Well, I have to. Don't really have another option. So looks like we're gonna get the queen just in time. Oh, that's a good move. Oh, I didn't see that. What is happening now? I have no idea. They can't stop me, I don't think, unless I somehow lose my rook. long as I don't lose my rook, they can't stop me. So this might just be a draw. It might just be a draw. Because I can just go back and forth. Oh, they have check there. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Okay, we have to avoid the fork. We have to avoid the fork. Have to avoid the fork. I mean, I still have the same threat, but I'm going to lose on time also as the other piece of the puzzle. No, they're going to fork me. Hey, wait. But wait. Do they have any checks? Oh, I didn't see. Yeah, they do. Okay. I don't know if I messed it up or if I was just losing in that race. I'm actually not sure. I think the big mistake was the tactic that I missed when they sacked the knight. That was probably, yeah, we definitely had a winning position at one point, but it looks like not at the very end. So let's see. 2100s are pretty tough, especially with the time pressure too. Okay, I think the opening was fine. We got into a pretty nice position. But yeah, we were doing great here. Great. So yeah, so we go into the end game, we're just totally winning. So there should have been no reason that we lost this game. But I did miss the tactic here. This was a nice tactic. Yep, that was it. That was the big mistake, not seeing that tactic. It's kind of a tough one to see when you're... I mean, I should have saw it, but yeah, I wasn't really looking for that. Maybe 2 at least keeps me in the game. And then I don't know if we ever had a chance after this. I think white just played pretty well. Nope, they did blunder it. So let's see. B5, B4, B3. Ah, okay, that's fine. That's still winning. I was gonna say that's a mistake. No, that's totally fine. That was the critical mistake. Wow. I guess, okay, what's the idea? The move is A5. A5 is the move, or bringing the rook over here. Or here. So what happens if they just push their pawn? How is this different than what happened in the game? Because I have rook F2, and I also have these pawns, which the rook's not going to be able to stop. What I did in the game, I see the problem, is I trapped my rook. I essentially trapped my rook here by pushing this pawn. So we get this position, my rook is stuck. Apparently it was still a draw if I would have done something differently. No, it was still a draw. So if I would have avoided the... I don't know what I did wrong, actually. Oh, I allowed queen b5 there. If I go... Wait, why is this different? Okay, so somehow it has to do with the way that I did it allowed them to fork me, which is kind of amazing, because here it looks like I'm still going to get forked, but no, I'm not. But going back to the game... Oh, queen a5. They didn't see it right away. They had it there. Okay, but hold on. Is there no way to avoid the checks and win with the pawns? No, there's no way, because the queen is too powerful, right? The queen's either going to fork you this way or going to fork you this way. And yeah. Okay, wow. Tough game. It does illustrate, like, when you get above 2100, you can't really miss tactics like this, or you're going to lose most of the time. That's just what it is, right? Like you pretty much have to see these kind of tactics for the whole game. And if you miss one, it's probably going to be what costs you. That being said, I did get one more opportunity here at the end. If I wouldn't have trapped my rook, I could have also still won, right? If I would have just pushed the pawn and then brought the rook over to stop this, could have also won. So I had a couple of opportunities, but that tactic was the big thing. All right, let's go to the next game. I just didn't want the rating climb to end, so I'm just trying to drag it out. Just kidding, obviously. But let's go with knight c3. And maybe we get to see a grand Prix attack here, which is usually pretty fun. Fits my style pretty nicely. Okay, a6. It's kind of annoying. Lots of people are playing this these days. They play like e6 and c6, and they just like... It's okay. We're going to go g3. So we're threatening this. Now we're going to play a fancy move here, knight h3. We just want to push our pawn at an attack in the future, and we don't want our knight to be blocking it. That's basically it. It's castle. Ooh, for some... Oh, I should have played d3. Oh, man. Gonna be one of those days. All right, I wasn't paying attention. I guess we can still play knight d5 and not lose a pawn. I should have probably played d3 there, just so that I could have other options. Because usually I want to drop back here, but I can't because of this. Yeah, okay. I have to go knight d5. It's just those little things, you know, just missing those little things. But luckily we have this move. We're okay. I probably have to take the knight, because if I try to move anywhere else, we will just lose a pawn. Let me go ahead and take it. Ooh, they take back with a pawn. Interesting. I guess they want to maybe use this or something. That seems kind of a weird move. So I was going to say the plan was going to be to go here and then push these pawns and attack on the king side. But what they've done here tells me they might not be castling that way anymore, which makes that plan maybe not feel like it makes as much sense. So d4 and just getting the queen into a good square. I mean, I could still play d3. It's not like awful. Still try to push these pawns. If I go d4, the knight's coming to c6 with a tempo, which I don't love. Yeah, I don't think we want to let that happen. I could also play b3 and just... Yeah, actually, let's do that. Because I was trying to figure out where this bishop's going to go, and that just seems like a really good diagonal. So let's do it. We'll do it the double fianchetto. Here you go. We'll just do the crisscross. Yeah, they want to try to attack me. Okay, that's fine. I mean, this is not a big deal. Let's go bishop b2. In fact, if they go here and take, I'll open up my rook, which will be a nice addition to the attack. Probably just play d3 here. Yeah, we'll just go d3. Just keep it nice and solid. And then we'll figure out what we're doing with the queen here in a little bit. Okay, knight jumps in. Not surprised. Like, I'm thinking about c3, but I don't know if that, and then bring the rook here. Could still play f4. Somehow maybe try to push these pawns forward. Then h4 maybe becomes a little bit more annoying. Actually, not really. We always have g4. So, all right, I think f4 is an okay move. Let's play f4. It's a very weird game because I don't know where black's king is going to go. I don't think they're going this way. But if they go this way, that's not exactly safe either, which means it's probably staying in the center for a while. So maybe if we can figure out a way to attack here somehow, right? But it's not easy to do because they can always just push by. They do go with h4, but I'm just going to push by and just keep the rook locked out. Keep the rook locked out. You can't use the h-file because your pawn's in the way. And yep, you can do that if you want. It's defended right now, though, so unless they're going to sack, which who knows, it's possible. I can always push and then jump in. I'd probably take with the pawn, unleash this. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. Try and open up my own rook. Maybe, ooh, queen h5 might be a good move too. Look at that. Why? Well, for one, we can just take the pawn. Also, maybe we attack the rook, and it's kind of hard for them to deal with it. Okay, there's a knight here, though, which would take this. I probably need to trade this. So let's go ahead. Queen h5, we're attacking some stuff. We're threatening maybe queen h7. I don't think they can really take here because then they open up my rook. I am putting a little bit of pressure on the king, which I like. What? No, that can't be a good move. That can't be a good move. So what is their plan for dealing with checkmate? Can't use your rook there. You can go to f8, but I mean, that looks awful. It looks awful. I don't know if they missed this or what the plan is. Oh, rook. I'm sorry. Rook g6? That's the move? No. Okay, hold on. I have two moves. I could sack my rook and play rook f1 check. Then they go there. Or I can just go here. I just go there. I'm just going to take your pawn. You can't defend it. You can't defend your pawn. Black has no defense, right? Because if you move it anywhere, you lose your rook. You can't go there. You can't go there. No. There's no. So they have to let me do this. Now maybe they just try to run. No, but then you lose a rook. It's game over. It's game over. I've noticed a lot of people that play rapid chess on chess.com play very quickly, and it's almost like a longer blitz game in a sense, and they don't really think through a lot of stuff. And sometimes it works out, right? Like the last game, I was in time trouble and ended up blundering at the end. But okay. So we have a free rook. Then bishop f8, knight g4. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Knight g4, queen f. Oh, they want to just take? No, I mean, I can still go knight g5. Actually, I can still play knight g5. Yeah, I can still play knight g5. How about that? I could also sack and play rook f1. I could do that as well. But hold on, knight g5 threatens here. Then they have to go there. Then I could sack. Then I could go here. Take me. Check. No, it's not mate though. There's also e5. E5 is a good move. E5 is a great move, actually. The trade here doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is I'm going to take your bishop for free, and you can't move it because checkmate. Yeah, there you go. E5 for the win. And I guess I could even take here first, threatening the checkmate, and then take here. Probably doesn't matter. Let's take this first. Doesn't. I mean, they can't move the bishop, so it doesn't really matter. I'm getting it next move anyway. Okay, there is some checks, but it's not a problem. Let's see. Check here. Check here. Take a rook, we block, no big deal. Black's losing all the pieces. Yeah, there's the resignation. Okay, kind of expected that. Okay, yep, pretty nice game. They just kind of blundered at the end there. I don't think there was too much. I guess I had that one mistake early. Let me see. Yeah, maybe D3 is a little bit more accurate because what I would normally do against this is probably just go knight E2 to keep a few more pieces on the board and then attack that way. Knight D5, as it happened in the game, actually was okay for me. This was not a bad position. By the way, Stockfish says A3, just immediately attacking, and it wants you to make this trade. It wants you to make this trade, and then your knight jumps in. I don't know why it thinks I have such a good position. It's interesting, but it really likes white's position. What's the idea? So that's if black sacks the pawn. What if black just plays a normal move, like just something like this? It wants me to bring my queen over here and then invade like this. Whoa. Okay, let's say black doesn't do the bishop, they do the knight instead. Or let's say they play something like d6. What's the plan? c3? Also, you're threatening here. Let's say they just go knight c6. d4, you just get a big center. Okay. And if they just go bishop e7, d5. Yeah, this is one of those very complicated positions, but Stockfish really likes it. Yeah, we're not going to keep looking at that. All right, we get white again. All right, cool. Let's go e4 again. And Sicilian, yep. It's like everybody above 2,000 plays Sicilian every game. This time he plays e6, so we'll play f4. And, okay, so we get this sort of... I forget what this is called, but it's this hybrid kind of system. So I think what we do is we just kind of go for a similar setup. Yeah, I think that's what we do. The only difference is we can't play knight f4, but that's not really a problem. I think our position is still very good. Let's go knight h3. d6. Okay, so I think they normally will go d5 there. So this is a very passive move. I don't think this is so great for black. I don't think it is. I think we can just castle here. And plan's going to be very similar. We're going to look to throw these pawns forward. In fact, I don't know if I'm quite ready. d4, also not a bad idea. Generally, you would go d3 here. Let me think about this. A d3. No, I think f5 is good because if black really has to play e5 here, we're going to have an easy time attacking on the king side. The center is going to be kind of shut down. And I think just from a strategic standpoint, we're in pretty good shape in this position. Let's go d3, just connect the pawns here. Yeah, and I think now it's just very easy for me to just throw these pawns forward and just really put the pressure on the king side here. So g5 is coming next. Now, I could do it immediately, or I can move my knight and play h4 and then g5. Yeah, I think I might just take my time with it, actually. And do it that way, because I want to be able to recapture with a pawn to force the knight to move. And that just seems more valuable, because then we force the knight to a really awkward square. And black doesn't have a lot of space. I mean, they have some space over here, but their king side is extremely cramped, which is what I'm trying to take advantage of here. So let's talk about it. g5 takes. They can go knight h5. So I could play bishop f3 first to stop that. Or I could play, let's say, a4 and then reroute the knight to g3, which also stops that. I would like to leave this open if possible. Yeah, they're getting ready to castle this way, so we'll go ahead and throw in a4. We'll go ahead and reroute the knight maybe to g3. I think they're going to castle, but we can also just start attacking over here and just kind of leave this the way that it is. Because if they ever push here, we go by. If they ever go here, who cares? I mean, we just can recapture. I don't think that's a big deal, or even if we want, we could do that. And if they castle here, I'm going to just change plans and start opening up the queen side, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so c3 it is, I think. Why waste any time, right? We want to get this file open. Okay, that's an interesting move. So if I let them do this, it's a little bit closed off. A little bit closed off. d4. Maybe d4 is what is needed. Let's see, this is defended enough. We could add another defender if we need to. If they take me, I'm really happy with that position. Yeah, I think we need to do this. Because you got to bust it open somehow. So generally when there's like 2 pawns, that's a good way to do it. Because you're guaranteed to be able to take at least one and start to open things up. I think that's a good move. Because what I'm envisioning is some pawns get traded, the bishop moves out, and the rook comes over, and we have a nice attack on the king. That's the long-term plan here, okay? Now, there's going to be some specific details of all around these captures, right? But essentially, that's what we're trying to do. I feel like these knights are nice defensive pieces, just kind of holding everything together, you know, just defending all this stuff, guarding my king from any kind of shenanigans. We haven't traded a single piece yet. We're on move 16, no trades. Okay, so they're trying to be proactive about this. They're seeing the same thing that I am, like it's going to happen one way or another. So, interesting moment here, guys, because I have a lot of options. I mean, d5 doesn't even look as crazy as... Because... And this bishop is just so cramped if I get d5 in. Very tempting. I'm tempted to take here. If they want to take this way, fine. I take here, and then I throw the pawns at the king. If they take this way, I think I will... I don't know if I'll lock this up or not. Do you want to draw? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We are not taking a draw. All right, I'm going to take this away first. So that at least opens up some things here. I'll let them decide. Let them decide. I mean, even this, though. Okay, yeah, they take this way, right? And now I have to decide, do I want to push, do I want to take, or do I want to just leave it and just play something like bishop e3? Get the rook to c1 right away. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get the rook to c1 right away. Maybe the queen can come up here or here. We always have g5 if we need to kick the knight around. I don't really want to open this up, though. That's why I'm just kind of waiting. But if I have a really good reason to, I could. Yeah, no, if we can get rook c1, queen somewhere, maybe double up the rooks on the c file. Interesting position, though. Very interesting position. This bishop's very bad. I like that. Knights are kind of limited. I like that. Yeah, it's probably a smart move. Probably a smart move. I don't think I should leave this here. I think I should maybe play rookie 1, so that's defended and my knight can move if need be. Let's go ahead and fix that problem. And I might actually try to trade these bishops, because I don't really think my bishop is doing a whole lot. Black's is pretty nice looking, so yeah, if we maybe go like knight g3, even knight c1 and over here, and then get the bishop on f1 to either force black to leave or trade it might make a lot of sense. Okay, so they're trying to prevent me from doing that. I can just shut that down. The only thing about d5 is this knight. This knight suddenly gets a very nice square. Now I could take it, and then I have this pass pawn. It's more of an endgame type of strategy, though. Really interesting situation here. Rook c1 feels like it can't be a bad move. Unless I wanted to use that square for my knight, then it might be a bad move. You know he's going to be going here. Yeah, I don't know what to do. This is a tough position here. All right, let's play d5. I'm gonna get low on time again. So we'll go ahead, cramp him down. Yes, we give up knight c5, but we do have options. Option number 1 is we just take that. Option number 2, we just leave it there. He didn't even move it. All right, interesting. So let's fight for the file. I'll go rook c1. Okay, and I think I might use this opportunity now to relocate the knight to b3. Yes. So I like it on b3 for a couple of reasons. Number 1, we're attacking the pawn. Also, it's hitting that c5 square. Okay, so he goes there to defend. And what if I just offer the trade now? You could go back, then I could go to d2 and then bring the rook. Or I could go to d2 right away and do that. I think I'll offer the trade. I don't think he can trade, so he's going to have to move away. He's going to have to go to d1. Then I'll go to d2 anyway. I don't know if that little dance is actually good or not, but why not? Oh, does he have bishop c4? Bishop c... No, he wants to trade. Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that, actually. Because now, how are you going to defend this pawn now? That's what I'm wondering. Oh, bishop d8. Did not see that one. He wants to use his bishop on d8. There you go. Well, this is interesting, isn't it, guys? This is really interesting. I have a check, but then he just goes. It's not a fancy tactic, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and trade. Yeah, I'm going to push. I think we gain the space. We push the knight back. Interesting position we have here. I got to speed up, though. I'm running out of time. I still think I do want to trade these bishops, so bishop f1 is definitely going to be coming soon. Coming soon to a rating climb near you. Knight h7 does attack my pawn, but probably just go knight h3, defend it, and his knight is pretty bad. I guess mine is kind of stuck too, but I feel like I could use my king, and then the knight could come into the game. So there. Here, maybe king h2. We just Stop it. Nope, okay. So we defend the pawn. The problem for me is I don't see how I'm going to be winning any of his pawns. And if I can't win any pawns, I don't think we can win this game. That is the problem that I am seeing. Let me go here, attack the bishop. And then I'll play bishop f1 to trade these guys, hopefully. Knight c5, we have b3. And I can run my king here and trade the knight. That would be probably a favorable outcome for me. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can trade these guys. Okay, is he going to bring the knight here? I'll have to go b3, I think. Because if I take... Actually, I could play g6. Takes, knight f8. Knight c4. He gets one pawn. I get... No, I don't get any pawns. Yeah, I have to go b3. I can't give that up. You have to go b3 to protect. Everything's defended. So the plan, I think, is going to be run my king. Then we could trade and have a nice knight. What is he going to try here? No, he doesn't have anywhere to go. This is the plan. His king could enter here if we traded some pieces. That's just something to keep in the back of my mind. Like if this bishop somehow gets traded, his king can infiltrate and take everything. But until the bishops get traded, obviously you can't enter. So that's just keep that in the back of my mind. But we're going to go here to g4. And I guess he's going to try to come over somewhere and defend over here maybe. But if I'm able to get the king on g4 and take this, my knight's going to be a monster on c4. I don't know if it's going to be enough to win the game, but now we're up on time too, somehow. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to go here. Okay, he's setting up a tactic. He's setting up a tactic. He's also allowing me to take. I will, because this knight on c4 is extremely good. And all my pawns are unable to be captured from the bishop. And his pawns, I can all, knights can just jump around and take them. So however he captures back, I'm pretty happy with this. And I can use my king to support this, even if it gets attacked again. And we're up on time even more. So looks like we're going in the right direction. You have to take with the pawn, right? Because if you take with the bishop, I think you just immediately lose a pawn. And that's not a pawn you want to lose, because this is... He has to take here, but then I still go in. I can sack this pawn. Yes. I still go in. We stop this. He plays g6. Why? What does that do? Maybe he wants to go here and take my pawn. So do I trade those pawns? No, I don't think we let him get this one. He still has this one that I can take later. We stop any counterplay. We stop any counterplay. He takes me, that's fine. We just recapture, no big deal. And the a5 pawn is a problem. And now, finally, we can take it. Okay, very good. We have some nice squares we can jump to, and he has this one. Yeah, it's should be a win for us now. Without too much trouble. I'm just going to go back to c4. I really like that square. I think that's great. Okay, so he's trying to get his knight into the game. I should probably get mine into the game since I'm no longer needed to defend that. So let me see where we're going to go. Maybe here. Maybe here. He's going to get flagged anyway. Okay. I'd still have to be careful. Let's make sure we don't get into trouble with this move. But I can always go back. I can always just go back. And then run with my king here, right? I'll go ahead and trade that. Let me bring my king. Okay, we defend. So I can't actually get in. He gives me a check opportunity. Let me go up here, defend this guy. Is it still a draw, guys? I don't know what's happening anymore. I do not know what's happening anymore. Oh no! No! Oh my goodness. I'm not proud of that. Those last like 10 seconds. I'm not proud of that at all. What a mess. What a total mess. Okay, I think it was a draw actually. Even with the extra pawn, I don't think I had a way to bust through if we would have had more time and played better moves. But let's see what Stockfish says about it, because I'm honestly not sure at all. Okay. What a weird game. Okay, I just want to see the end game primarily on that one, so I'm gonna get past some of these trades. Of course, there were mistakes made all over the place. But like right here, I felt like, okay, yeah, and Stockfish agrees with me. I could have taken actually immediately. It wanted me to actually take immediately, not even worry about this pawn, because if this happens, I'm just winning. I'm just winning too many pawns, and it's just a game over for me. Okay, so I didn't do it right away, but I did it later. Knight c4, king f3, knight takes a5, great. So the best move is knight c6. So going forward and putting the pressure on that would have been a better option. And if the bishop comes up here, now I go with my king. And what was Stockfish's plan here? Oh, knight d8 if the king ever leaves. Okay, so let's say the king doesn't leave. Now it's pushing the pawn. It's going to make the king leave. And then it's going to go knight d8, sacrificing that and winning pawns over here and winning the game. Wow, very instructive. Very instructive idea there. You guys see that? Huh. So that was one thing. I should have gone to c6 instead of c4. Okay, but still, I'm still winning. I'm still winning. Still winning. Whoa. I'm sorry. King e3 keeps my advantage, but king e2, we're borderline draw. What is going on? King e3, knight c5. What is Stockfish's idea? Oh, you defend. So now you can play knight a5. Defending. Black has to do something. And we are going to be jumping in, sacking this pawn. because then we're going to run over here probably and get this pawn and win the game. Oh, man. And when I played king e2, I no longer have this as an option because now knight takes e4 and black is the one who's winning the pawn over here. Whoa. I don't know. This idea of stacking and then just going to the other side of the board and take... I need to like work on that because I don't feel like I generally think of that, you know? I'm always like defend, defend, defend. And Stockfish is like, no, who cares? You just go, you trade the pawns and you get this one and you get a queen first because your king is in a better position to stop than black's, I guess. That's fascinating. That's extremely instructive though. Like, look at that. These moves look the same. They look the same to me. But no, one is winning, one is losing. You could also start with the knight and then go king e3. Same idea. And if the king just tries to stay on this side of the board, then they get forked. So let's say they go here. They're still going to lose this. If they try to defend it, you push. If they just move back and forth, then they let you go to e7, so they can't go there. Let's say they go here. But then you're taking this pawn. You're pushing it. And yeah, you're forcing them to go stop it. And then you're going for that guy. That is amazing. That's amazing. Okay, do I have time for another game? Let's see. We'll play one last game. Had some tough games this time around. We got white again. Wow. Okay. Much for that random number generator. And what did I tell you? Everybody over 2,000 plays the Sicilian. So okay. I think we're gonna get an actual Grand Prix attack now, unless black starts doing some crazy stuff. Looks like we're going to get a normal looking Grand Prix attack. Okay, e6 is a little weird. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. They're starting to do weird stuff. I thought we were going to get a normal game, but no. Okay, I like the bishop here, but since they've already played e6, I think I will go with b5 instead. I think I will trade it and then play d3. So this is kind of the Grand Prix setup, right? You get your pawn on f4. You get your pawns like this. You have your knights behind. Sometimes you have a bishop on c4. Sometimes it gets traded. It kind of depends on what black does and what you want to do. And then we look for opportunities to attack, right, with these pawns. That's basically it. And a lot of times you go queen e1 so that the queen has easy access over here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you can develop the bishop, but sometimes you just leave it. Sometimes you just, a lot of times actually, you just leave it and you kind of start attacking with your knight and your pawns, your rook and your queen. And then the bishop kind of jumps out when you're ready. So I think that's what I'm going to do now. A little bit weird with the bishop on e7. I don't know that I want to necessarily walk into that. Although it is a pin, I just take it. They could go to d5 though, but no, then we take and take. So I guess I can play queen h4. They could defend. And then they are threatening some discoveries. Put my queen on h3 there. Or I can just go to g3. I could probably play king h1, rook g1, g4, g5. You know, just take it kind of slower. f5 straight away. Try to get my knight or bishop. Maybe that's the best option. I'm not totally sure, guys. I am not totally sure. I'm going to go with the queen. I think the queen needs to be over here. So I'll do this. I'm expecting like rook e8. And then I'm probably going to play queen h3. I want to get away from the discovered attacks once it's defended. But I want to keep the queen pressuring on h7 and on e6. Because a lot of times that's where we can attack. So f5 is going to be attacking here. Knight g5 is going to be attacking there. And here. So like in a perfect world. Okay, that's what I thought. In a perfect world, I would go here. Here. Trade this. Maybe sack here and checkmate on h7. Of course, black's not going to let me do that. I'm just saying, like, if I could make like 4 moves in a row, that would be what okay, yeah, f5 and sack the bishop, or g4, g5. Let's see which plan makes the most sense. So f5, what's most likely to happen? If they push, and we sack. Pretty happy with that. Everything is closed off in the center. We have an amazing attack. We can bring the rook up after we get rid of the knight. Yeah, I like that a lot. G4, G5 also looks pretty good, pretty dangerous. So yeah, definitely. This one does allow knight e5. We have to watch out for. G4 doesn't really allow black too much, I don't think. So maybe from a which one gives them less counterplay standpoint, we'll go with G4. But I don't know. I think F5 is also really good too, because sacking here is usually pretty good. But the other thing I should say, when they play H6, now G5 is a very good move because they don't even have time to move their knight. Well, they have to move their knight probably, but then I can take here and really bust open the king. The pawn was back on H7. It's not always that easy. Yeah, I think let's go. Let's go. We can play King H1, Rook G1 if we need to, but... So now it's a tough decision, actually, because I want to take here and make the knight move back. But I also want to take with here and then do what I just said and get the rook on the G file. So... yeah, I'm going to do this way. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go that. And maybe even rook F3 we could do. So there's no checkmate, right? Because there's two knights defending it. But I could also go queen here, rook here, rook here. And then there is a checkmate, right? That's not a move I was expecting. Other thing is I could do this, which looks pretty good too. If he takes me though, then we get the F file, but not the G file. It's really a question of which file would I rather have, right? I don't think we have any crazy sacrifices. F5, yeah, it's probably too ambitious. Okay, I think I like the G file. I think I like the G file. So I will try to use it like this. I'll try to use it like this, guys. Bishop's probably going to just have to sit here or here. Yep. I don't want them to go to d4 because that would be very annoying. I think I'm going to go to e3 first. Although queen b6, do I have to worry about that? So bishop d2. I guess I could play rook b1. I hate to play moves like that, but sometimes, in rare cases, it's what you have to do. The other thing about bishop e3 is then d5, right? Takes. No, but then I have... That's okay. Okay, I think it's okay. Let's go bishop e3. d5, I think we just take. And then here we have c4. You can't take me because of my queen. Okay. Queen b6. I'm probably going to play queen b1. I mean, rook b1. I hate to do it. Okay, he doesn't go for it. All right. Now I'm going to just try to attack. So let me get the rook here. Let me get the rook here. Maybe bring the other rook. I still have this idea, which I don't know how powerful it is. Let's get everybody in position. And I might play rook f3 next because it gives me a lot of options. I could double up. Or I could go queen h5, rook h3 with the checkmate idea, which I like. So rook f3 is coming next. If they play d5, probably going to go e5. Why? I don't want to open things up for black's pieces to invade. I want to keep the center area closed as much as possible so that I can be the one attacking over here. That seems weird. Why would you give up that bishop? That seems super weird. I don't understand that one at all. I'm not sure if they were afraid that it was going to get chased around or what, but that was a great defensive piece. And now it's just gone for a knight that wasn't doing anything. Very strange move. Very strange move. Now I'm immediately thinking of like stacking stuff here. Check, check. Nah, it's not gonna work, is it? It's not gonna work. So we'll probably just push. Again, I don't want to open things up for the pieces to come in. So I'm just gonna push by. Keep this area closed while I attack over here, right? That's the plan. Also, it unleashes my bishop, which is amazing. Plays f6, so the idea is to use the queen and the rooks to help defend. But I just wonder if it's a little too late. Queen takes, I win the queen. Actually, no, there's knight g5. Never mind, I can't do that. Okay, so we can rule that out. Bishop h6, yeah, then he's got plenty of defense this way. So I could also play c4 here just to really make sure d5 never happens, but no, there's always going to be b5. But then we take, yeah, so c4 is not a crazy idea. Or I just ignore it and go on the attack. I'm going to ignore it and go on the attack. I don't know. Maybe c4 was needed here to stop counterplay from black, but I would rather just attack right away. We can see if Stockfish tells me I'm done later, but I'm going to go queen h5 and rook h3. This is a big threat. They are going to push. All right. Or queen h4 maybe, because I want to avoid the queen coming. Actually, queen h5 I could play here. And then you might actually be checkmated even faster because you don't have the escape square. Okay, so we'll go queen h5. Takes, I think we just leave it and we go over. The problem for black is okay, they do. Oh, they do. They do. I like this. I like this because now knight f8, knight f8, rook h3, takes, checkmate. You can't go knight f8. I think black is just lost, actually. I think they're just lost. Because you can't stop this threat. This threat is too powerful, right? It's too powerful. And queen f7 actually was a bad move, I think, because you block your king's escape square. Yeah, so I just go here. I'm threatening checkmate in one move, which means you have to take my rook. Then I don't go check because then you escape. But I take back. I'm threatening your queen, so you move your queen somewhere, and then checkmate. That's it. That's it. Now they could sack their queen and maybe survive, for example, for a few moves, but obviously still going to be losing position. So there you go. Nice little attack there. We'll check it with Stockfish and see if we missed anything more obvious along the way, but good example of like a Grand Prix attack, I think. And it happens lots of different ways, you know, but lots of fun. So like, if you haven't checked out the Grand Prix attack, highly recommend you. Avo on Chess Mood has a bunch of courses. He talks about all the details. It's really good. Highly recommended, especially if you're at a higher rating range. I'll put a link in the description. You can get a couple days for free and check it out. But yeah, the Grand Prix attack is so much fun, as you saw. Yeah, so we played a pretty good game, 87, not bad. And Stockfish is queen g3, a little bit better. Okay. Queen h3, it likes my idea. g4, yeah, it does like g4. F5, the other move I was thinking of. Stockfish says after the takes and the takes, bishop f8. Yeah, it's just not quite as good. It's just not quite as good. That g pawn was actually really dangerous for the black king. Okay, g5. Both moves are good. Stockfish does like this one a little bit better. Followed by going here and then what? Pushing the h pawn. Pushing Harry. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, and it actually wants me to go rook. Oh, rook f2. I was thinking it wanted me to do this right away, but no, rook f2. That's a weird. Okay. It likes king h1 too, though. Yeah, and black kind of was too slow. They weren't doing anything fast enough, and they just allowed me all this extra time. And this was an awful move because now I was able to kind of shut down the center and open up my bishop all at the same time. And that was a big mistake for them. If they would have played f5, yeah, this is really instructive, guys. Okay, so watch carefully. Let's just say that they decide, all right, I want to defend this way laterally with my queen and rooks, right? And maybe I'm thinking about f6 and I'm thinking about f5. In the game, they ended up going here and then f6, right? What's the difference between this and if they would have played f5 straight away? Do you guys see the major difference? It's this bishop, right? It's this bishop. My bishop now, because of these pawns, is just stuck. Now, I could still attack with my queen and rooks, but the bishop can't help me. When you go back to the game, I have this amazing bishop which can come in at any moment, and that's super dangerous, right? And the pawn is even more advanced, so I get some help from the pawn like we saw in the game as well. So that was really their critical mistake. And then, yeah, this idea is just too strong. The rook coming over, there's nothing the black can do. So at this point, the game's basically over. Cool. So we did end up getting a few points after all. Obviously, you can tell the quality of the opponents much higher. Very strong players. I hope you guys learned something. Like I said, go check out the Grand Prix Attack courses if you want. You'll learn how to do these setups. It's basically like this kind of setup, right? The pawn's here, d3. You have your knights, you castle, and you attack on the king side. Really, really fun games. You'll get nice checkmates. Yeah, just a lot of fun. So, all right, yeah. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp. Play smart. Take care.